Good.
That's one of the weaknesses. That's one of the weaknesses. I like that, Oscar. We'll call this meeting to order. All rise. Invocation and pledge is District 11, and I would like to ask that during our prayer to remember Commissioner Martin and his accident a couple weeks ago. Include him, please.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we just thank you for the day you've given us, the blessings that you give us each and every day. Thank you for the country we live in. It's so great that we can come together and as legislative body. We can vote on business, talk about business of our county, our community. We just pray that the votes tonight, the things we talk about, that you would be in it, your will would be done, that minds would be clear, and they would be on what was best for our community and the people of our community. We just pray now for the, also ask for special prayer and blessing for the soldiers that are serving, the veterans that have served in the past, so we have this opportunity, that we are free and we are a free country. Just ask you also to bless each household here represented, each one here, each individual. We ask you to take care of and bless Jim Martin and his wife Sandy, one of our commissioners that's been in an accident. We just ask you for speedy recovery, speedy healing. Just give you the doctors the skill to help get them back on their feet and going again. We just thank you for us being able to get together, and what a great community we live in. We just thank you for the service of the commissioners here and each one in the community. Just thank you for the service you provide for us, that you gave all for us, that we might have eternal life. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
David, okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take your handsets, everybody press yes, and just stop right there for me for the roll call, please. Everybody press yes. Thank you, Miss. All right, now press confirm for me, please. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm for me, please. Mr. Jerry Ford, press. There we go. Thank you, bro. Mr. Chairman, you have 23 present, 1 absent. There is a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Approval of the agenda.
Second. Mr. Chairman, I believe the Budget Committee has an item they'd like to add to the agenda.
Okay. All right.
So I so move that we add Budget Committee at 8B to hear a presentation from them, please.
Okay. Yeah. Motion is second to add a budget item under 8B.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the agenda.
Move approval as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the minutes of previous meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee.
No unfinished business.
Fiscal Review.
No unfinished business.
Nominating.
No unfinished business.
And report of special committees. Other unfinished business. First item, consideration of the updated county personnel policy. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. Voice vote or roll call? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Motion passes. New business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee. Fiscal Review.
We have no business.
Nominating.
No business this month.
All right. Report of special committees. Budget.
We will be meeting Tuesday night to discuss Parks and Recreation, another small item, and then we will meet on Thursday night to discuss the roads. And last week, we presented, we had a discussion of the fueling center, and it was approved that we do plan a 3-year outlay loan to pay for the center, fueling center for the county.
Okay.
And I'll move approval on that.
So we have a motion and a second on the capital outlay note through budget for the fueling center that for the county departments and school transportation. Commissioner Short.
So that I'm understanding, so this would not be in the budget, then this would be outside of the budgeted item. I guess it's coming from the budget committee, but the budget hasn't been passed, right? So how do we do that if it's not in the budget, but it's already approved?
Well, what you're doing, if you vote to do it tonight, you're just basically voting to agree to that when the budget comes, and it will be included in it. The reason that you really need to make a decision is because the bids are gonna be, the time for them to hold the bid will be prior to us passing the budget.
We have a time constraint, as you said, that's why.
Have we gone back to them and asked them if they would extend that length of time? Generally, they're pretty flexible on things like that.
I think they already, I believe Terry said that they had, didn't he? They're expecting a price increase in, what was it, the steel or something?
Do we know how much that will be?
I don't think so.
No comment.
Anything else, Commissioner Short?
No, thank you, sir.
Commissioner Randolph?
Yes, based on Mr. Duncan's motion, physical review, and second, and approval by the physical review committee to send it to budget, the way I understood it would be that budget would work on the capital outlay note, bring it back to the county full commission in the budget for approval. Since we passed it that night, I spoke with Mr. Tony McCrack, and he won the bid. It is a 60-day bid, but I explained to him what we had done, and they don't want to rebid it, so they're going to stand behind their bid. He told me that basically they were going to work with us and maintain the price that they quoted us. I told him, you know, it would come back before the committee or the full commission in August to either be approved or not approved at that time, so we won't be able to let him know anything until then. So based on Mr. Duncan's motion and approval in physical review, I move approval of the motion tonight to send it to the budget committee.
Point of order, we currently have a motion and a second on the floor.
Oh, we do? I thought they were asking for one.
No, we've already got one.
Anything else, Commissioner Randolph? Okay. Commissioner Maynard?
Okay. What we're doing tonight, just to clear everything up, the Budget Committee has given this project the go-ahead. So if we approve this tonight as a full commission, we are approving the project, we are approving the funding. The Budget Committee will incorporate that funding into the budget document that we are going to hopefully approve in August. But we're voting tonight, per my motion, to actually go ahead and approve the project so that we can get it started.
Commissioner Atwood?
That may have just answered my question, because I was a little confused as to what it was that we were doing and why. I still am a little confused as to why. From what I heard from Commissioner Randolph is that the bid is good, regardless, that he has said he would honor that bid because he doesn't want it rebid. So, the reasoning, Commissioner Maynard, that I heard was timing, I believe, is that correct, Kim, that we're doing this for timing
Yeah,
purposes?
evidently he's talked to him since we met at budget, because my understanding was the last time when budget met, we didn't think that he was gonna hold the bid and guarantee the price. So he's talked to him evidently since we met in budget.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Short?
Sorry, I think it's a good project. I just think that it has to be weighed in with the entire budget process. And if we can do that, that might change slightly the decision-making process. So I think it'd be great to leave it as part of the budget process and bring it back to the full commission as you would any other capital outlay. Thank you.
Commissioner Medley?
Since there's no rush on this, I really don't see the reason why we're actually voting on this tonight after we are already approved to send it to the budget for them to work out the capital outlay on it, because he just got done saying that they're gonna hold the bid, so I don't really understand why we're really voting on this tonight for it.
Commissioner Randolph?
Well, I'm just, normally when we vote on something coming out of physical review, it has to go before the full commission to be voted on as well. And this is the full commission meeting to basically vote on what came out of physical review. Is that not correct?
It is to give the Budget Committee a heads up of what we will be trying to fund. That is how it would help the Budget Committee. Of course, it's going to be a capital outlay loan that would be paid over 3 years, but nonetheless, unless you approve it, then there would be no need for us to discuss it.
Anything else, Commissioner Randolph? Anything else? Commissioner Gentry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just wondering what the bid came to. I hadn't heard anything about an amount. Do you have that on you? How much? $498. Thank you, that's all I was asking.
Commissioner Williams?
How long is this project supposed to take once they get started on it?
The document said 120 days.
And if we pass this tonight, so 4 months, August, September, by December, end of the year, is that a pretty safe? Okay, and they've got to dig in the ground. I mean, I don't really know what all's entailed in this kind of thing, but they've got to set a new fuel tank in the ground. Is it, or they're going to raise it above ground?
There's a set of plans downstairs in Kim's office, so they've been there for a month or two, so if you want to go down and take a look at the plans, but it's above ground tanks.
I guess what the reason I'm asking the question is there a weather constraint that we need to get ahead, get started on this early, or we just,
Well, I think so, yes. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have good weather in the fall. We don't know what we're gonna get in January and February. So, we first put it out at, I think we put it out at 90 days. And then after talking to the contractors in a meeting that Gary Loftus had, everybody decided it needed to be 120 days at least. So they feel comfortable that they can get it in 120 days. So assuming that we pass this in August, maybe they can start immediately after that, and yes, maybe have it in by Christmas.
Commissioner Ford?
So basically, what I'm understanding is when we vote, we're voting to go ahead and proceed with the new fueling station. Is that right? We're passing it tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I got a couple of questions before we vote. One of them is, we have the old fueling station that, the bus use, or the county. Is the school board on board with this? My understanding was last Monday night, the school had decided whether they were going in with us on this or not. They're not?
Could we let Mr. Boyd address that? Commissioner Ford?
Yes.
Thank you.
The guidance I got from the school board was, given the completion of the projects that we're working on, the Monterey High School project and the Upperman Middle School project, and the fact that we're looking at over a $2 million shortfall as far as furnishing and equipping those schools, and the board's faced with using reserves, that they didn't see that we can move forward in contributing $250,000 towards a fueling station at this time. So that was the guidance I got from the board. As far as being on board, they certainly see and express agreement that a collaboration between the county departments is a positive thing.
Okay, let me ask you this. We have the old fueling station out there, and at some time or another, we're going to be required to, if not at present, to clean that mess up. And it gets pretty expensive when you do that. Now, is that mostly the education department? Who's going to clean that up? The county?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Putnam County, whether it's the Board of Education or the county general departments. And in fact, that land is Putnam County. I mean, outside of the Board of Education. It's land that we're using that is specifically county land. So, you know, I think that's what's facilitated the conversation, both about that fueling depot as well as the one over by the old community center. The concern about the in-ground tanks, and the reality that some folks, I think a road department's already faced that problem about in-ground tanks and have had to address it, and it would be costly environmentally, and just the construction process to address that.
Okay. So basically, we're talking about the fuel tanks over at the bus depot, and we're talking about the fueling tanks out here at the old community center, correct?
That's
and
my
those
understanding.
will have to be cleaned up and taken out of the ground.
Well, the age of both locations is a concern, and the reality is if we were to have to address both locations as Putnam County, that's a concern and cost that everyone, you know, is looking at. And the solution that had been proposed, and the discussion began some time ago about a consolidated fuel depot site. And with the county owning the current transportation department site, and that being a central location in the county for all departments, that was why I understand it gravitated towards where our transportation department is located.
Okay, one more question. How long, I remember when this was built out by the community center, how long have those tanks been in the ground out there, Terry? Or Jerry?
The ones by the community center, I have no idea.
The ones down at the bus?
Honestly,
they've been there for years and years and years.
Possibly when I was in elementary school, if not before that, so would be my guess.
The information that we have, they've been there over 30 years, Jerry.
Okay.
They've been in the ground over 30 years.
So we're probably going to have to core drill that and see what the state says about it.
Well, I think that's why the proposal's on the table about doing the joint fuel or the centralized fuel station.
Thank you, Jerry.
Commissioner Eversole.
Based on the new information that we had, that they will hold the bid, I'd like to make a substitute motion that we, just submit this project with our regular budget.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a substitute motion to, submit it, let budget, put it in their regular budget. Okay. Any discussion on that motion? We will vote on that motion and, roll call.
All right, so we're on the substitute motion, is that correct?
Substitute motion.
All right, submitting the project with the regular budget. All right, if you favor that motion, please take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor that motion, vote no. Everyone please vote, and just stop right there for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, please press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 19 voting yes, 2 abstain, 1 absent. Substitute motion passes.
Resolutions.
There are no resolutions, Mr. Chairman. Notaries: Sharon E. Brandon, Paula A. Farguson, Amy Ford, Sierra Ford, Teresa C. Gilbert, Kimberly A. Kirby, Cynthia Denise Mathis, Kelsey McCarter, Kathy Lynn McLean, Bethany F. Neighbors, Wilma Reeder, Shirley J. Riddle, Janet Rumachik, Kathy Stout, Tina Weber, and E. Shane Wheeler.
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion and second. We will vote.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to vote this one. If you'll take your handsets, favor the motion, vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everybody please vote. Voting on notaries. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote? Please press confirm for me, if you would, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, we have 23 voting yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Motion carries. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Other new business, we have a debt obligation report, CTO 253 for $583,332 on the vocational rehabilitation building. It just has to be included in the minutes, and make a note of that. No approvals needed. Any announcements? Oh, sorry.
Could I make a comment on that, please?
Yes, Mr. Short.
Kim, what's on our fund balance at this point? General fund?
Well, we've not closed out the year, but it looks like it'll be over 11 million.
I know the cow's already out of the barn on this one, but would it not have been a good candidate to look at retiring as opposed to stretching out for 3 years when you have much bigger fish to fry?
We're not paying interest on it. It's borrowed from debt service. It's debt to ourselves.
So then why don't we retire it? If we're borrowing it from ourselves, why would we borrow it from ourselves? What's to be gained?
Not taking it out of the fund balance in the general fund, where you can use it for whatever you need it for.
Okay, thank you.
Any announcements, statements? No. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We adjourn.
You guys have a good evening. Sir.